precedent.
Yes. See, which Jeff is sitting in the chair?
That's a good
It's
choice.
not gonna take much more.
It is 7 now.
Now it is 7.
I think so.
We are ready.
I could adjust my clock.
Are we live? Okay. All right, I'd like to open the meeting for October 3 for the Franklin Conservation Commission. First, I will take roll call. I will not forget today.
All right.
Richard Johnson's here.
Louis Pulis here.
Mark LePage here.
And one of the Jeff Livingstones is here.
Roger Trahan.
Nicole Sharamonte.
Anybody online? No?
No, Mike.
No, Michael.
Okay, all right. So let's open up the first public hearing for 15 Liberty Road. Last time, as I remember, we were waiting for a stormwater management plan. Are we still?
Yes, we're waiting for final beta review. That's slated for next Monday at planning board, but the applicant did request a continuance. So.
Okay, all right. So there's really nothing, no update?
No.
Is there anyone here from 15 Liberty Way who wants to say anything? No? Okay, I'm probably not making comments because they're not here. All right, so I will take a motion to continue.
Give you a motion to continue the NOI for 15 Liberty Way to October 7th, or 17th, I'm sorry, it's 7:01 PM.
Second. Vote to continue.
Vote to continue.
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 Continued.
Continued. And then I will open up the second hearing, which is the NOI for 5 Street. Is there anyone here from 5 Oak Street? Oak Tree. Oh, sorry, Oak Tree. Oak Tree. No? What's the,
The representative is on Zoom, but anyways, I would recommend approval with standard special conditions. I can read those numbers out if it suits the commission.
okay. All right. So the type and the location of the origin varies.
Yep, we received an updated plan.
Yes, yes, okay. So we have a.
Good to read in the special conditions?
I can read the numbers. It's
Yeah.
a standard document, so it's in.
Yeah.
So it'd be standard special conditions 20 through 22, 24 through 41, 44 through 47, and 51.
Okay,
All right.
take a motion.
Motion to approve the NOI at 5 Oak Tree with conditions as stated.
Second.
Okay.
Vote to approve.
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 Approved.
Killing them and eating them tonight.
Killing us, okay.
Wow.
Wow, okay. Now, we will go to.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Now we will go to hearing number 3 for Louise Drive. It says here there's still no DEP number, yes, correct?
Yes, it was just filed.
Okay, it's just
Yep.
filed, okay. And you are waiting for beta scoping fees still?
Yep.
yes?
I got that shortly after 4, but because my office technically closes at 4, you'll
Okay.
be getting it tomorrow morning.
Go ahead.
This is Mark Arnold with Gutter Consulting here on behalf of the applicant. Just to open the hearing formally, give the commission a general summary and
Great.
allow the commission to proceed with their peer review and due process.
Great.
So,
Sorry, what was your name?
my name is Mark Arnold with Gutter Consulting.
Okay, thanks,
Senior
Mark.
project manager with
Great.
Gutter. So, again, this is Mark Arnold with Gutter Consulting here on behalf of Paul and Pam Lombardi for the extension of Louise Drive, which is an extension of about 626 feet of access road. This project involves a stream crossing, impacts to stream, and bordering vegetated wetlands. As such, we do have replication also proposed. I'm not sure if you have the plans digitally or I can have a hard copy.
Sorry. Do you know the plan set pretty well?
I got it, yep. Sorry.
Oops, sorry.
And we do have copies. We do have big copies.
Excellent. So just a general locus of the property. It actually is property adjacent off of basically kind of 2 streets that kind of network together. You've got Louise Drive here, and then you've got Brian's Way here. They both kind of join a junction here, and the plan is to extend Louise Drive to the southwest.
Okay.
Existing conditions, we have a bordering vegetated wetland with an intermittent streams running north to south on the property and on the eastern side. and then we have an isolated wetland in the southwest corner of the property. These wetlands were confirmed under an order of resource area delineation previously this year, so the wetland line was already delineated, confirmed by this commission. The extension is fairly straightforward insofar as it's a straight road, extends right off the existing drive, comes across the wetland in a straight manner, comes across and then ends in a dead end cul-de-sac. That includes also infrastructure for utilities and stormwater management, which is shown down in this portion of the lot. The wetland replication area, it appears, and I was talking to my colleague, the planting plan did not actually get attached to the packet, so you might have noticed that it wasn't there. It was described but not there. It's located in this area here. I'm just going to zoom a little closer, in the vicinity of from B3 to B9, and I do have a physical copy that I was able to print out.
Oh, shit.
So the impacts to the wetlands are 2,396 square feet. Replication is proposed to be 4,800 square feet, so we have a 2-to-1 replication ratio per your bylaw. The also design includes a arched culvert which has bank full width and openness ratio provided to ensure that there is adequate water capacity for the stream capacity and also for wildlife movement per Mass DEP guidelines. The work does involve work in your 25-foot, 50-foot buffers to access the upland in the rear. This is a limited project due to this areas being surrounded by either conservation land or developed single-family houses, which would be prohibited to having upland access to the property with in regards to zoning. So the project this goal was to cross the wetland at its narrowest point, which it has basically where it can, comes straight across and gets out of the buffer zones of the 25 and 50 foot as quickly as possible, and limits disturbance to those areas to the maximum extent practicable. We did submit a variance request per your bylaw to request that information. We do have a standard stormwater design included with detailed operation maintenance plan and a stormwater pollution protection plan for construction to control erosion during construction of the site. I know that's a high-level overview, but if there are any other questions, I could try to clarify those now.
One quick, just question, it's not related to conservation, I'm just curious. For the electrical easement that runs through the property, is there some sort of rule that you have to be so far away from the easement, or just as long as you're outside the easement, you're okay?
Generally speaking, it does depend on the supplier, but from my knowledge dealing with several different electrical easements and gas easements, as long as you are not you don't develop underneath the lines, you're good. Some grading is allowed depending on the easement's use. So if it's electrical, there are setbacks to the height of the soil level to the wires because of the concern of vehicles hitting the wires. So, but generally speaking, the main restriction is basically they don't allow detention basins, septics, buildings, structures underneath them. They allow access roads, but again, they're looking at the height of that road compared to the wires, and they may restrict the grading and raising of the grade, particularly to prevent closer contact with those wires. And it also depends on the wires' capacity and their voltage.
Okay, thank you.
So the electrical easement runs right straight through 2 lots?
It does, yes.
Did I miss that?
It does. It runs through lots 15 and 16. So
Yeah, I
it's,
see
it's,
that.
it's, yeah, it's this hatched area right here.
And how does that affect the usability of those 2 lots?
It affects it insofar as buildings aren't allowed in that area. You can still have lawn in those areas, but you could have grading depending on what's allowed. Usually there are requirements or permits required through The easement, I don't remember off the top of my head who owns the easement, but for National Grid, there's a
Mass
process.
Electric.
Mass Electric, okay, so Mass Electric, which would probably default to National, is that?
Richard, think of it this way.
Yeah.
It's like an
It-
Airbnb with a free MRI.
I just have to make a comment that they're not high tension wires.
Anticipating putting houses in there?
No, so they're not high tension wires.
Oh,
They're not high tension
Okay,
wires. They're
okay.
not big structures.
This
It's
is-
not a big right of way.
Yeah, it's 50 feet wide, which is pretty narrow for electrical easements. Usually electrical easements are 100 to 200 feet
Oh,
wide,
okay.
depending on the
Yeah.
tension, but in this situation, yeah, they're not high tension, so that's why it's smaller.
Okay.
if you wanna build it, I guess you can.
All right. Is there anything, do you have any
Yep,
comments?
I have a few comments. So this is a historic plan that was approved by the planning board back in the 90s.
Oh.
So coincidentally
Oh, so
enough,
this
if,
plan right here was-
not the plan, sorry, the extension, the road extension and the
Oh,
subdivision
road
lot.
extension,
Yep.
okay.
So if you were to actually go up on our GIS website, you will see that it's already extended. The line's already
Oh.
there on a plain parcel base map.
Okay.
So knowing that stormwater falls into conservation's jurisdiction. So the majority of Beta's peer review will be for stormwater because the wetland resources have already been delineated.
I see.
So I just wanted to put that note in your ear and then you will get that tomorrow.
Yep, understood, and we'll make sure you get the replication plan.
Yes,
So,
please.
but, we hope it'll be as successful as the COC request we have tonight.
Uh,
Is there town water that far out?
There is.
Yeah, that's pretty far out, actually. Wow, okay. Are there, so when you come down Byron's, I mean, there's existing houses down there, yes, right?
Yes, there are.
There's
Yep,
one
so
right
there's
there.
there's a house on the corner of the extension and Brian's,
Okay, so it has to come out, it's that far. Okay.
yeah, but
Yeah,
there's,
roads right
there's
through
gas
Frank
and overhead wires and drains and everything else in that street.
I don't think I'd want to live in a house with it. It's just me.
So the town has all of this, all of these utilities are coming up to these existing homes. So in the plans, it states that you're gonna put in septic system and wells.
So I believe there was town water, I'm just gonna double check the utility plan, so, I unfortunately wasn't part of,
There's wells there and septic systems.
But there's not, guys, question, is there town sewer that goes down like all the, no, there
Not
isn't.
that we know of.
Like a time.
So it's not possible just to stem off the sewer, because it just doesn't.
That's correct.
Too bad.
We're building a house up there now, and they have a septic system that we've already installed.
yeah, there's no sewer on the plans.
But I thought I saw sewer on one of the keys, one of your maps.
Yeah, let me,
There was also a
so-
sewer force main.
Yeah.
I think it ends right there, though.
All right. Water line, sewer
So-
line, sewer force main.
And you're gonna have a hell of a time getting any sewer down that road since it falls off. Boom.
Yeah, I can, we'll have to provide that information at a future hearing. My apologies for not having that knowledge. I didn't have early
Oh, no.
work with the plans, so
Sure, no problem.
that's, we can elaborate that. But again, I mean, this work does not include the construction of septic systems, wells. This is just for infrastructure for the roadway itself. And any work on those lots beyond, what's shown here would require separate notices of intent, which allows for each lot to be kind of independently opened and closed out
So
for
this
the
is just for
owner.
the road, huh?
Yeah, you're just trying to get
Correct.
access down.
We're just trying to get access, and it makes a cleaner title for the homeowners as they develop their own houses. That way they don't have an order of conditions on their lot that's tied to the neighbor's house.
We see that all the time with the historic
Yeah, that
order
makes sense.
conditions.
Yeah,
with the
large
subdivisions.
subdivisions, they would do all the houses under one order, and then your neighbor's house is part of your order of conditions, and now you're going back and forth trying to figure out how to close it ever together.
Yeah.
But so usually DEP likes to see a subdivision with just the grading, the drainage, get all that organized, and then individual NOIs for the houses, so that way each house can be closed out independent. So that way you can, it makes it cleaner for a lot of people and for future records as well.
So this is just for the road?
This is just for the road and the stormwater management, correct?
Stormwater,
Also,
okay.
my guess is that it would possibly impact selling the property to someone if they felt like that their property was.
Correct, correct.
Predicate on
It reduces the problems that can happen at closing with the attorneys, being concerned about open orders and conditions on your property.
Why have a
Yes,
headache? Yeah.
exactly.
So is the construction, access entrance active, oh, that, never mind, I said, right, is that's not active yet, right?
Correct, it's not active yet.
Okay.
Anything else?
So the design of the culvert still TBD?
It is on the site plan, so if we go to sheet 10,
Yeah,
there's cross sections of the culvert in both directions,
right.
which is really nice to see. So you've got, and then you've got your plan view. So the plan view's actually got a zoom in plan view, there on sheet 10 at the top. And then on the bottom, you've got cross sections in both directions, to allow you to see what it looks like up and down and then through the sides. So you have a culvert that's 3 feet high, 14.5 feet wide, and it's an arch.
Okay. I think I was seeing the wall design. I think I was referencing that, but that's aside from
So it's quite a large span culvert.
That's a big
Yeah.
culvert.
So, there'll be plenty of space for wildlife moving in there.
Yeah.
Chair Livingston, I do have a question. Are these locations staked now out there?
I do not know, but I will follow up
Okay, thank you.
and I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
So just my general comments for some of the details. I think we have hay bales, straw hay bales. You know, so it's, looking for alternatives on that front. I did note here the concrete washout area. There was a note here about keeping it away 100 feet, which is good. I think the only thing I'd take issue is with 95% full capacity, and then having it maintenance. I think most of the good practice is 75 to 85 before you start looking at
Okay.
breaking it out. So
Yeah, we can definitely add that down to 70, you said 75?
75.
70%, okay.
Just think, 95 gets you.
No, as
You
a
know,
SWIP
you
inspector,
don't check the
as
weather
a
and
SWIP
then-
inspector, that makes sense, and
Yeah.
it would be consistent
just
with trying to
Helps
keep.
with cleanup.
Nope, understood.
Yeah. And then, not really a conservation item, but just the slope. Some of the details here for the roadway design, reference Rhode Island DOT. I think it's just a carryover notes.
Okay, yep.
So, just to make sure we're designing for Massachusetts here. Aside from that, I don't have anything else.
Thank you. Anything else,
Good
guys?
catch on the bills.
Okay, when you're ready, I'll take a motion to continue.
All right, give you a motion to continue the NOI for Louise Drive to October 17th at 7:02.
Second. Vote to continue.
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 Thank you very much for.
Thank you so much, appreciate it.
giving
Thank
us
you.
the input. Okay, now I'd like to go to the minor buffer zone activity. The first one up is 8 Addison Avenue. Do we have anyone here? I'm here. Are we still having people sign in too?
No.
No.
You know what, did they have comments on Louise Way? There was a couple in there.
There they are. That's us.
Okay.
That is your PCA if you wanted to.
Okay, got it. There,
No, good.
got it. Okay.
Okay, good.
Good evening, I'm here for a minor buffer zone activity to remove dead and decaying trees from property. So we did a renovation of the backyard, went through full conservation, 16, 17, 2016, 2017. Since then, we've had some insect infestations of the trees, and they've actually taken them down. So there's several of them now that are in jeopardy of a good windstorm to come down and damage structures. We had one in the wetlands that actually came and fell half on the neighbor's shed a couple years ago, and the rest of it started to go. So the request is to go in and have a tree company use a crane, remove the trees that are inside the buffer zones. They'll be ground on the stump at ground level. And then the one that is in the wetlands, we're requesting to have a top so that it falls and lays into the wetlands.
Pretty straightforward. And basically, we need variance because of the IBW, correct? Yes?
Correct.
Right,
Yep.
otherwise, everything else is fine. Yep. Okay. Does anyone have any problem with that? I mean, it seems pretty straightforward to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already leaning, right?
Yeah, it's already working out. Well, the one in the IBW is basically, what came down,
On the
already
neighbors.
snapped.
It already
Very
Half
close.
of it came down, hit the neighbor's
Yeah, that's
shed.
what I want to get.
How we gotta
Don't wanna
address
hit
that?
Our house on the backside.
Yeah.
It's irritating.
Well, we also want, like, children need to build.
Yeah.
That'd be bad. Yeah, I mean, okay. So, anyone else have
The
any?
ones you want to grind to the ground, are they in a mowed area?
They're in the mowed area.
Okay.
You don't have any, yes? No?
Oh, no, I was nodding yes to it.
Nothing? Yeah,
All good.
okay.
I'm good.
I guess we approve the minor buffer zone, MBZA.
I'll give you a motion to approve approve minor buffer zone activity at 8 Addison Avenue.
Second,
Okay,
vote to approve.
Vote to approve.
Approve.
approved.
Approve.
Approved.
Approved. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let's move on to COCs. Certificates of compliance, we have one at 340 East Central Street. Is anyone here from 340 East Central Street or online? Oh, same.
Mark's back.
Okay.
Good evening, again, Mark Arnold with Goddard Consulting here on behalf of Joseph Halligan for the COC at 340 East Central Street in Franklin. This was a notice of intent to redevelop a commercial property on East Main Street, East Central Street. This site did include the impact to an isolated vegetated wetland that was receiving stormwater runoff from East Central Street. And this, we proposed a replication area that was isolated in nature that still received the same stormwater, but would provide additional treatment, also provided a sediment trap at the end of the outflow to trap sediment and provide for better maintenance of the water, while also providing for a better wetland replication area in terms of habitat, vegetation, etc. So we did provide that. We completed that several years ago and did several years of monitoring. It's located in this corner here of the plan. We do have
It's right
Eric-
behind drip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the area is 4,100 square feet. So this was a unique replication area where we built the berm around the existing red maple trees, and we actually allowed the wetland to develop with seeding and everything else. And so we actually have a wetland area with mature red maples growing in it, but it provides flooding capacity. So, and the beauty of it so far, as we've seen, is it hasn't released really water from the area. Whereas the isolated wetland before was dumping the water into the BVW, it just flashed right through it. So we actually have a wetland that's functioning, but it's actually functioning in a better detention capacity, while also still not impacting the trees and everything else. It's a flash. It comes in during a storm and then it infiltrates. And so it's working really well. We're really glad to see how it turned out. It was a kind of a unique situation where we had this kind of degraded, isolated wetland that was just receiving a lot of just gross water. And so again, is a sump trap
Okay.
right there. It's actually not part of our replication area. It's all rip-wrapped, but it's a trap for sediment. So it creates a clean-out spot where you can clean out the area where the sediment comes out of the pipe. You can trap it, clean it out, and you're not going into the wetland, into the vegetated area to do that. And so, again, a way to kind of provide better treatment and also allow for the additional maintenance of keeping the wetlands on the property and providing those functions and values. So we did have a letter from the engineer. This project has been all closed out in regards to the planning board and building departments. Sorry, I should say the planning board and the DPW in terms of all the stormwater infrastructure. We provided a letter stating that the stormwater system was built in substantial compliance to the order of conditions.
Okay. And I think Regal, you had a couple of
I have a couple,
comments? Yes.
yeah. Minor correction, it hasn't been closed out at planning board. They're not going to receive their final Form H due to color of the trim, not part of conservation at
Okay.
all, so.
Okay.
I spoke to the town
Alright,
planner on
okay,
that
okay.
today, yeah.
All right.
So I did, you know, from a, this was obviously approved and done before my time, even the replication area. So I did conduct a site visit. There are just a few things I noticed. So the replication area is fine. The asters are in full bloom. I don't know of any aster stand this close to town hall. That is the way that that is. So that was fun to see today. However, all of the photodegradable wattles and silt fence are still there. So those typically what happens, what the process is somebody comes in, or I get this letter, I go out, and then I say you can remove the wattles.
Yep.
So this is my saying you can remove the wattles now.
Yep, we've been carefully keeping them wherever we thought there could be, to make sure they were kept up in terms of control until we could get the say so to
So
remove this.
I would recommend approval, just within 30 days they need to be removed, otherwise then you can move forward
Is
with
that
whatever
okay? Can
powers
you
you
guys?
want.
can you
Yeah,
guys-
absolutely, and if we could, I'll make a note to Joe to make sure we get some photographs of the areas after it's removed, just so you see.
I don't mind emailing him either.
Okay.
And then also, tenants, they're putting bug netting and deterrents in the wetlands. Can't do that, especially in a replication area for habitat.
Okay,
So I would definitely suggest not doing that. I get it, because the tenants of the shed and drip, and they all wanna go outside and eat, but it is a wetland. And a high-functioning wetland has less nuisance insects anyways. So
So
long
now
as
when you
it-
say back, so they're actually like what, draping the back of the,
There's, yeah, or they have like, attractants and bags out in the woods
Oh,
and things
I
like that. We can't be
okay,
having
so
that.
that has to be removed.
yeah, basically bug traps in a way.
Oh, bug traps.
Yeah,
Oh,
Out in
like
the woods?
pheromone traps, yeah.
Oh, I see,
They-
okay.
You can't be doing that.
Interesting, wow.
Okay.
I'm sure they're gonna be back, you know, in 2 months, but
Okay, well,
this is
wait,
my
wait, so the
advocacy.
question is, I mean, does the applicant have any control over that though? Or
It's
is it
their
just-
property and it's their replication area.
Okay, all right, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So, yes, they do.
So they were in the replication area?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting, because that's not near the apartments, it's actually near the commercial property.
That's what I'm saying, it's
Okay.
behind the
The
shed and
commercial-
drip.
Okay,
It's-
commercial
yeah, if
tenants.
Yeah,
it's part of
it's
the
the-
commercial tenants, we could probably have a better conversation with them about
Yes.
things than
Yep.
the home,
Yep,
than unit
it's behind the
owners.
shed and
Okay.
drip, so
Okay.
I'm sure when they go outside on their lunch break or smoke break or whatever they're doing, they're going
Okay.
to the back. So, and then just as well, the trap that you mentioned, there's just a lot of trash, so it's collecting what it's collecting, but
Yep.
I would just make a comment that
Yeah,
that
we need
is
to get,
also
well, I can have it cleaned out again, so yeah, because
routinely
yeah,
maintained.
it's the stuff that comes from the street,
Yeah.
it's not our trash, but it comes
Yeah.
out there.
Exactly. So
okay.
those are my housekeeping comments.
Okay.
Can I, just say something as far as the traps? If this is gonna be an encoring, isn't there some kind of a, maintenance time? Like they could set up, like you clean it once a month, you clean it?
So it should be a part of their normal operations and maintenance plan, yep.
Yeah, I'll follow up to figure out what the sequencing and frequency of that, and touch base with them to see if we can get them to put a note in there. to
It
do
is
that.
too late for the commission to condition anything.
Oh, I understand, I understand.
It's,
Yeah, we're asking as a courtesy.
Yep.
Yep.
No, and Joe would understand, he's been very, very, very accommodating to our recommendations during construction to keep things controlled and managed.
Who would manage that ongoing,
their landscape, like their,
Landscaping company?
yeah,
Yeah.
their property manager,
yeah, okay.
not a landscape. They can be a landscape.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, their
I know
property
what you mean. Yeah,
manager.
yeah.
So, anything else, guys? I think.
Good catch.
Okay.
No, I had the same question about the clean out and the maintenance schedule for that, so.
Okay. So, basically what we're looking for is a recommendation for approval with the condition about the removal of the sanitation controls for 30 days.
And the bug.
Removal of the bug traps, right?
Well, I think that's something that we're requesting as a courtesy that they talk to the tenants, right?
I mean, it's in the, what you have control over is the replication area.
Okay.
The
And it is
replication
in the
area
replication.
should, yes.
Okay,
it
well
should
then,
have-
okay, yes.
Yeah, the maintenance
And you're
plan
correct.
is-
There are two things.
All right, so I'll give you a motion to approve the COC for 340 East Central Street with the conditions that the erosion and sediment controls inclusive of photodegradable wattles and silt fence are removed within 30 days, and that they contact the tenants to have the bug traps in the replication area removed.
Right, yes? Good,
All right,
okay,
Second.
okay,
Approve.
Approve.
approved.
approve?
Approve.
Approve.
Thanks for working with
Thank you
us
so
on
much.
that,
Have a
Mark.
good night.
Thank you again. Okay. Then we go to minutes. And I do have some suggested minor changes just for readability, and so I've got 3.
Do you mind pulling your mic closer so our minute taker
Oh,
can,
okay, yep.
can trigger her
Right,
to
right.
make the change?
Just, again, some of these are very, very minor. Bottom of page 4, the next to last paragraph. It is easy to see how someone would be deceived non-intentionally. I just would say someone would be unintentionally deceived. I would make that change. I also want to point out that something that's missing here is that the chair did say that he was pretty sure that this was a simple mistake due to sloppy wording. It was not intentional. I wanted to get that in the record, that the commission did not think it was an intentional deception on the part of the applicant or the applicant's agent it just sloppy wording. It didn't say driveway, for a house,
Yep.
right? And that's what we were trying.
You
that's
did
what-
make that distinction.
Right,
You
so I
did.
just want to make sure that was in the record. On page 5, first paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth line, middle of the line, he said in a vote they put in place. I would say he said when the Concom votes, they ask the applicant developers for restoration elsewhere. So that's a much more clean way to say that. So again, I'll just repeat that. He said, when the Concom votes, they ask the applicant developers for restoration elsewhere. That's a better way to put it. And then second change would be, last sentence, denying the person the use of their property. I would say denying the person the use of their property, period. And then in that case, the town could be sued for a taking, period. That's really more precise, which is true. Last one, the public hearing for 844 Lincoln Street, 05, it says this item was not taken. It really should say the hearing was not open. And then the very last one, on page 7, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth paragraph, almost to the very, very end, small change. It says, he said he wants to say, it really should say, he said he will continue. Just get rid of he wants to say. I think that's a typo. Those are the only 4 that I had. Anything else?
Was Tyler at that meeting?
I don't think so.
Because he's listed as an attendant in the attendant.
No, that's a good point. I don't think he
I
will.
will have Judith remove
Yeah,
him.
I
Yeah,
think,
he
yeah.
hasn't
Yeah,
been at our meetings since
In a while.
August.
In a while, yeah.
It's probably
Yeah, that's probably just a cut and
standard
paste.
header.
Yeah, cut and paste, yeah. Is there anything else, guys? Anything else anybody else has?
No, good catches.
No. Okay. If you're okay, then we can prove that it's with the corrections as stated.
Okay. I give you a motion to approve the minutes with the corrections as stated.
Second. Vote to approve.
Approve.
Approved.
Approved.
Approve.
Approve.
Now, the last thing the next to last thing on our list is Stovert's restoration plan. We have a comment that we are not requested to approve the plan at this time, but if there is any feedback to enjoin here, then we should be discussing it. I mean, I think we pretty much discussed it at length, but, if anybody else has any additional comments or suggestions, et cetera, or Ricolai, if you have any additional, I think we've
I had a couple things.
Okay.
One is, I wonder if we should get a grip on what kind of herbicides they're gonna be using in invasive species management.
Okay.
Might just be good to know that. So and then on the timing, they talked about how the activities will be dependent on the target species, and I get that. But then they said they'll be developing the protocols. And I think it'd be good to get an idea of the timing is when we could see those protocols.
Timing of proposal.
Yeah, I get they gotta wait to see what grows before they kill it, but, and then the other thing is, I thought it might be good to know, you know, and look, it's a bad situation, right? You got a lot of stuff in the wetlands, so I'm assuming they gotta get some heavy equipment into the wetlands.
Sure.
It'd just be kinda nice to understand, you know, what equipment they're bringing in, what that access looks like. I imagine they gotta get right up to it, but that seemed like that might be, those are just a few details I thought might be good to ask about. I thought it was pretty comprehensive, it was good, but.
So we also, outside of that specific proposal, we also have the suggestion that we ask about the timeline for an NOI submission. When are
Oh,
they,
good
when
point.
do they expect to do this?
Yeah.
Such that the restoration can essentially at some point have a concrete date, because obviously we're being beaten up in the public for not having that solidified. So having that NOI date would at least
Yeah, it's
bring us
good.
closer to that, right?
It's a real good
So you
question.
haven't heard anything specifically about the timing, have you?
Well, no, this comment was on the last one too,
I know,
so
I
I am seeking feedback at this point before they make any changes, right?
Okay,
So
right.
this was in front of you, I
Okay.
need feedback from the commission. So I just want to make an addendum to last time as well. So whether or not, again, a future project happens is besides the point to this restoration plan. This restoration plan is coming before any order of conditions.
Okay.
But with the timing component, and Wayne Stobart can hire whomever he wants to complete this restoration plan,
Right,
right?
right.
And I would like to note that if the commission were to issue an enforcement order, it can transfer titles. It can go from one property owner to the next.
Okay.
So even if Wayne Stobart had an enforcement order, he can just go back to TAG or any other developer and say, hey, look at 305 Union Street. Hey, I have this enforcement order. Do you want it? Can you take it off my
Yeah.
hands? And they'll say yes. So I felt like that bared repeating. But the timing of it is we still have our directive, and I still think it's very important to make sure that this is taken care of and not lost.
Right.
So that is my recommendation to the commission, to strongly inquire about a timing of the notice of intent. So you know where we're going. And can use other reference projects to ensure that we're still on a feasible timeline, right? We've seen, for example, 3 Natalie Circle, which was a violation that we had. Unfortunately, we did have to issue an enforcement order. If you remember, it was a residential property, and then they had small BBW fill. I mean, that took months upon months upon months. So,
So is the question just basically sending them an email and asking them when they're going to file?
correct.
or-
That's what I would do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Is that coming from us, you?
Everything
me?
comes from you.
Me? Okay, all right.
When I'm acting as the conservation agent,
Okay,
everything
okay,
comes
all
from you.
Okay, all right, all right.
But yes,
So we
so,
need-
and I
we need-
want it on record that the
Okay.
commission is requesting.
All right,
That's,
okay.
I need
All
you
right,
guys
so
to.
if you can send me the appropriate contact information, I will send them.
No, I can send it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Now, on record,
Oh,
I
on
would
record,
like the
okay, okay.
commission
Okay,
to
yes.
request
Oh, yes. We are.
from the applicant.
Okay, we are officially requesting.
Thank you.
Yes, right, yes,
I
we
think they're
are.
required to bang the gavel.
Okay, yes, we are officially
Thank you.
requesting.
Do you,
The date of your NOI submission.
yes, do you, so I put in here, assuming the filing is within a timely manner, commission to discuss what timely manner means. I feel very strongly that people respond better if you give them a deadline.
Okay, so what,
That's-
what's a realistic deadline, given the status of the project currently? Is
Have
it,
they done
is
their
it,
plan?
yeah, is it a month, is it 3 months? I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
To make changes to the restoration plan, probably a month.
Okay,
You know, we're getting now into winter.
yes.
I doubt anything's gonna be happening
Get it
in
done,
winter.
get done.
All right, okay.
So
So
you're
we'd like
to
it,
spring.
we'd like to know, we'd like something within a month, within the month,
For a revised restoration plan, sure.
yes, okay.
And then you
Actually,
can
if
go
there's
back
not a
to,
bunch of snow and other stuff on the ground, being cold and
Yeah,
The ground's
frozen out
ready.
there, it's not a bad time to be going in there and rooting around.
clearing stuff out.
that is true, but their entire restoration can't be completed in winter.
No, no,
They could clean it up.
you could clean it up
But-
and remove stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you
they
probably
saw-
wouldn't be able to,
We'll make it-
there'd be
maybe
some
we
things
can
that would
get-
be limited.
Yeah, maybe we
They
can
could.
get that.
Let's break it out into phases.
Yeah.
But, you know, water getting into the wetlands and stuff like that would be minimized, hopefully.
So we're asking for a month for the final restoration plan, and
Perfect.
then when do they plan on filing the NOI, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then once we get the revised restoration plan, then you can continue on the conversation,
There you go.
if that works for you.
At least I would move the project forward.
Perfect.
All right.
Hmm.
Okay.
Kind of jabbing them a little bit. Never a bad idea.
Okay,
Thank you
good.
for
Everybody's
jabbing.
good with this? Yes, good?
Good, yeah.
Okay, that's it for the discussion items. Now we have the updates. There's no Friends of Franklin update. There is no CRWA update. Is there a master plan liaison?
There is, I provided my staff commentary on the implementation plan for master plan. If you watched yesterday, I don't expect that you did. They went through those comments. Conservation Commission is listed with a lot of responsibilities, typically mirroring, open space, responsibilities. I did, remove the commission from a few responsibilities and put myself as a department instead. For example, mainly for, like tree canopies and medians and
Mhm.
heat island effects that are things way out of your jurisdiction that would be legally a stretch. And then I also removed the Conservation Commission from making relationships with nonprofits and businesses.
Right,
So unfortunately, you can't do that. You can't get in a position to
right.
seek out relationships with people,
That
or
would be seen as
ask for,
conflict of interest, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
or ask for donations.
Yeah,
Nonprofits and businesses can donate to you on their own accord,
right.
but you can't seek.
Can't
They'll be
solicit.
out there
Can't
hustling.
solicit,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Non-solicit, yeah.
Exactly. So those are the only changes that I made, and that's my, master plan update.
Okay. Do you have any natural resource protection manager updates?
Yep, so still moving forward on October 16th for the Maple Hill and Schmitz Farm open house. I did post the preliminary, concept designs today. I sent out an email blast, they're also on our webpage, with a Google form, for anybody that can't attend to provide open-ended comments. I know that might seem scary to people to just be able to write a paragraph, but that's the beauty of it. So just look at the concept plan, provide information. The only difference is, if you are available to attend in person, but think, hey, you know what, it's posted online, I'll just look online. You will be missing out because in person will have an existing conditions plan, a little bit of the history, so there's more content, available in person than there is online. The only thing available online is the preliminary plan. Plus there will be apple cider donuts.
Okay, and can you repeat
sold.
again the
Yeah,
date,
I'm
the
there.
time, and
Yep.
location?
Are they hot?
Yep. October 16th, between 4:30 and 6:30 PM at the Franklin Senior Center.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
That won't be streamed or anything.
It's not a public meeting or anything. There'll be boards posted around the room, walk and talk. Yes. Roger, you might notice a native bee area.
I'll be in PA that day.
I know you will. But you'll look at the plan, won't you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, see?
Okay.
My Minnesotan came out, I apologize. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Say yeah to the UPA.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Don't you know, Roger? I know you will.
that's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else?
No.
All right, so there is one sad
Oh.
Mac update. Go ahead.
I did have one, I apologize.
Yes.
I had two. Our end of the month meeting, we're not meeting on October 31st because it's Halloween. Our schedule is for Wednesday, October 30th. We'll be in the training room because there's town council that night.
Okay.
So just note that change. And then the housing update with town council is on October 16th. So that,
So same day, also housing.
nope, that's 2 weeks before, 16th.
So where are we meeting on the 30th?
I'll go consecutively. October 16th is town council for the
Okay.
housing update. That is an invite to all boards and commissions that make permitting decisions to come to town council. October 30th, which is a Wednesday, we are meeting instead of Thursday, October 31st, because it's
Okay.
Or
Halloween.
did you say a different room too?
Yep, and we're meeting in the training room, so that's upstairs,
Third
room
floor.
1.
326A.
What I meant was that the senior center is the same day as the housing update. Those two things are the same
Correct.
date. Right. Okay.
So one's 4:30 to 6:30, one's at 7.
So, right.
That's why they pay me the big bucks, Roger.
Anything
Hey,
else?
yeah, one other thing, Beta is working on the bylaws.
Yes, we are on hold until the MAC update,
Okay.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
We'll wait for them.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yep.
Okay, so wait for them.
but I still need
That's right.
comments from you all if you have them.
Yeah.
Louis did bring up a good question the other day to me about what exactly, what is being asked of you for bylaws, and it's not so much perhaps placement of where bylaws are, it's language, it's topics. It's more content related topics,
Yeah.
things that you would like to see, things you've noticed,
Things that are not covered.
yeah, exactly,
Yes, right.
deficiencies in.
Things that you think should be an extension of the existing state law that are not.
Yep.
For our town.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then,
So not language, but.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
unless it's something super glaring, like that's
you know,
fine,
like we
but,
don't have any tree protection, we should have some tree
Right.
protection in Franklin.
Right.
so.
and then Beta and I will review for language, verbiage, and then inevitably Mark Sorrell, our town attorney, will have to review to make sure that what
Sure.
we are suggesting is not a taking.
Yes, of course, yes. Okay, anything else? No?
No,
Okay, so one sad thing for Mac, I got something moved on me, and a very major event unfortunately, so I will not be able to go to the Mac meeting, semi-annual meeting that's happening in Devon's. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to have you guys do it without me, unfortunately, I just can't get out of this, it's a once an annual event, and I just can't. I'm torn between two obligations, so.
Don't worry, we'll pick up your slack.
Yeah, Mr. Lazy Guy, yeah. Actually, I'm gonna be in the Bahamas, like
Oh,
slipping down.
jeez.
No, not gonna be the Bahamas. No,
There's always a hurricane.
Second thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get back, I'll be like, have a broken arm, it's like, where were you? Well, I wasn't in the Bahamas. Anyway,
I actually have a conflict too, so unfortunately,
but thank you guys for filling in for doing all the work, I appreciate it very much. And that was the last thing that I had. Did anyone else have any comments or anything? No? 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 Okay. Now I'll take a motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn.
second that?
I vote to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're done.
Yeah.
Guys.